4, 3, 2.
And coming to you live here from Daegu City in the North Gyeongsang Province, South Korea, the Mecca of Korean soccer. We are here today with ESL Open Cup Asia Division number 150. Really? 152. All right. That's how many we're up to at this point. I am, of course, Yakuzaku of the Zaku, and with me today is El Scooby Dooby Doo que gana $10 jugando para los Socceroos. Light _ VIP. How we doing, Light?
What's up, Yaku? Welcome back, everyone, to ESL Open Cup Asia. As you were saying, it's been a long time since we've been able to cast one of these. It's been like, I want to say 5 weeks because of DreamHack Atlanta and because of ANZ Champs and because of Home Story Cup. Because of all of these tournaments, we just haven't been able to sleep. because of sleep, because of assignments, we haven't been able to cover it, but we are back. And mate, just as always, quality StarCraft this week.
Beautiful. Oh, I was worried, but we got a lot of signups as we jump into data under the sea. We're in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, starting all the way. In that bottom left-hand corner, we of course have our red Zerg player coming down from the land of Taiwan. He's going to be representing Onside Gaming, OSG. He is Rex.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of data under the sea, we have the Chinese Terran player representing TvZ Gaming. It is time. Or Oliviera?
I had no idea that this was time. Initially, I saw him. I saw him in the in-game channel very, very early on. I was like, is this like the team manager of TvZ Gaming?
Mm-hmm.
I looked at the bracket. No, it's actually time.
Yeah, I'm interested. I wonder if that's like a soccer player name or something. I don't know. Maybe that would make sense.
It definitely is.
Oh my god, it's the Messi of China.
True.
True. Oh my god. So yeah, it's great to be back here for another week of ESL Open Cup Asia. It's been a while, but as you were saying, we have some quality players, we have some quality signups, and it's crazy that already we have a pretty banger series.
Oh yeah. It's one that I think we've seen a lot more in the past, but we haven't really been able to get too much of recently, as both of these players really just have been focusing more in their own regions and haven't been able to meet each other in international events. But Rex versus Time happened quite a lot in the Open Cups back in the day.
Oh yeah, definitely. They are some of the more regulars that we have in these tournaments, especially when it comes to the non-Korean participants. Rex, the best Zerg player from his region, and Time, the best Terran from his own. So we'll see how far they can go here. We'll see how they're able to warm up in the first round of this weekly tournament. Exclamation mark be in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the series, at the bracket yourselves. Yo, I want to give a special shout out as well as we get into this to Maximo in the chat. Argentina, papi.
Vamos, Argentina!
Vámonos, as of course, we did have some World Cup matches. Some World Cup matches earlier today. I was sound asleep at the time. Yaku was not. He was able to get some live coverage, maybe, some live updates, but yeah. Wow.
I am not paying for a sub to watch a World Cup live.
Shaking my head. Oh my god. But already we see Time opening up in a very standard fashion. It looks like the Queens do intercept. The Reaper somehow gets away, and we do have that 3cc before Starport.
Indeed, we do. A very interesting add-on swap coming out here from Time. We have been seeing these Banshee openings coming up quite a bit in TvZ, haven't we?
Yeah, exactly. These 3cc Banshee openers have become quite common, quite standard, quite meta, and quite economic as well. Something that's interesting is that we actually don't have Cloak being researched, though. I wonder, I imagine, okay, there we go. We were lacking a little bit in the gas. Now it is finally going to be on the way. A little bit delayed, but yeah, Time is going to be committing to that.
That he is. The main thing I'm going to be looking out for when I normally see an opening like this, like from a Terran player, I normally look out for an armory just to get a sense of how Time wants to use that Banshee. Is he going to go all in with that Hellbat RS, or does he want to go for a bit more multi-prong?
Yeah, that's the question. Is he gonna commit with the Hellion production, or just make a max of 8 here? As we do see him just poking and prodding, he gets 1 creep tumor for his troubles. Or even catches a queen off of creep here. Oh my god! He's gonna just barely get it.
And down it burns. I still have a bit of control as well with the Hellions. More and more Hellions being coming across the map, but that is just about going to be the end of that. Time. Looks like he does want to use his Banshee with the Hellions, but yeah, he's thinking long term. He is still getting stim and whatnot.
Yeah, definitely. And getting 1 queen early on like that is a bit of a slip up from Rex. We don't really expect that to be happening at this stage of the game, and that is going to affect things. That is going to mean that Rex has to either replace that, or he will have a little bit less anti-air for the Banshees once they do reveal themselves, as they are just meeting up with the rest of the Hellions.
Like so. Immediately we get that cloak. Thankfully for Rex, he did finish up Lair a little while ago, so Overseers are already about halfway done. Does have a couple of safety spores as well, but oh no, all of these queens backed into a corner where there's no detection.
Oh my god, exactly. The spores a little bit far back here. We miss with the transfuses as well. 3 queens go down.
This is some regicide if I have ever seen one. The Lings are popping up, trying to act as a bit of a buffer, but it feels a little bit mistimed as well. That's about the last of the transfuses being used here for Rex. All of the queens are going down. Only 5 drones have died, to be fair, but now that... Oh, I'm not sure if that was worth it or not for Rex.
I'm worried it may be over right now because the boys are being pulled and 16 drones are going to be going down. Even more are going to be going down as they all line up to get roasted here. We saw how quickly things snowballed once the queens were out of range of that detection, and once a couple of them were getting a little bit low from the earlier skirmish, and Time didn't even lose everything.
Yeah, he still has these Hellions. I mean, as badly bruised as they are, if he's able to sneak them in, he can still get a couple of drones. Worst comes to worst, take out a couple of creep tumors as well. Stim finished up, and Time is looking to take advantage of that. He is sending everything he has across the map.
Exactly. Oh my god, and that supply blocks Rex as well. No, now more than ever, Rex needs that supply to make an army, because this is the follow-up push. Again, Rex was dying to essentially pressure from Time, and here we go. The main push has arrived. We have a couple of Lings that are going to be trickling on in. We do have the Queens being replaced as well, but they only had 1 transfuse.
Yeah, very, very low energy. That was a very unfortunate time to throw down those creep tumors. Baneling speed is only about halfway done. We do have a couple of Banelings here, but not too many of them, honestly, and barely any buffer for them either.
Yeah, oh my god, 2 more queens go down. We only have 2 queens remaining here on the front lines. We have a couple of Banelings. Baneling speed, as you were saying, is still a ways off, and Rex has to fight without it.
Yeah, I thought maybe he could get 1 good connection, but the target firing from Time was just way too good. Rex may be able to force Time to, bleed out a couple of units, but I'm just looking at the supply difference light. Even if this force goes down, there's plenty more where that came from.
Yeah, and the 3rd base ends up falling in the end. Rex does have a 4th that he can transfer his workers over to, but that was just the first wave. Here comes the 2nd wave across the map. Rex was fighting for his life, fighting his heart out just to barely survive, and it's not over.
This may be one of the few times where the 2nd wave is scarier than the 1st.
It really is. We have 3 queens remaining. I'm about 2 queens remaining at this point. One of them gets focused down immediately. The Banelings are going on in. The splits from Time are not too bad. 1 decent connection from those Banelings, but that is it. GG gets called.
Time gonna be taking game number 1. Whoa.
Pretty convincing fashion, man. Oh my god.
Yeah. It's like, watching a match of Argentina.
Ay. Yo, Messi! Oh my god. There may be a couple of World Cup references during this broadcast, okay?
Yeah.
Oh my god. But yeah, GG, well played. Again, a very dominant showing from Time there. Just I say dominant showing. Rex just a couple of mistakes early on. It showed really did snowball towards the end there.
Yeah, I mean, looking back, while we were watching those those queens walk off of creep a little bit too much, and then Time just taking one of that off. I didn't expect that to be the snowball that would set things in motion, but apparently it was Time. He really knew how to just continue to take advantage of Rex's mistakes over and over and over again. But that was just game number 1.
Oh yeah, that was only game number 1. You say that, but the vetoes must have been crazy because game number 2, a map that we almost never see in best of 3s, Stargazers?
Gonna hit him with that Stargazer special. As we load into game number 2, this time going to be on Stargazers. We're in the top right-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in that top right-hand corner. We, of course, have our red Zerg player coming down from the land of Taiwan. He is going to be representing Onside Gaming, OSG. He is Rex.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Stargazers, we have the Chinese Terran player himself representing TvZ Gaming. It is Time.
And I have some confirmation here. Charles Oliveira is a Brazilian mixed martial arts artist.
I don't think that's who Time is talking about. Maybe we should ask him a little bit later. He's gonna have like an Aries story and be like, Oliveira, she was my first love. And she left me. Feels bad, man. Not like this, Aries, not like this.
She betrayed me to go become an MMA fighter.
She went to Brazil, papi. Ay. Oh my god. And speaking of, I want to give a massive shout out because he's always here, the owner of Onside Gaming, always there to cheer for his boys, and he's here to cheer for Rex, donating 25 USD. Thank you so much.
Heart.
Less than 3, Poppy. Less than 3.
Less than 3.
And Rex did have a bit of a rough go of things. Again, we saw that last game, things just snowballed very, very quickly. But I have to imagine if we're getting into Stargazers, I have to imagine both players have to have something very special planned here for us.
Yes, indeed. The Stargazer special, as some of them have called it. Hashtag Dolan. But shout out to Dolan. But yeah, you're definitely right in that regard. That it's a very special map, and there's a lot to take advantage of for Terran and for Zerg. The fact that Time is playing relatively normally to start things off, it gives me a little bit of optimism here for Rex.
Definitely. You know, this is a map that can go to the late game. It can be split in half right down the middle quite easily at that. It's also a map that does favor muta play. It also favors heavy drop play as well. You know, we're talking about 2-1-1s. But we'll see, because once again, 2 games in a row, Time goes for an economic opener.
Yeah. Swapping on those add-ons once again to go for a couple of Hellions. Really not, I mean, I don't want to say he's not taking advantage of the map, because, you know, that can definitely come in a lot later. Like you said, when we get to the late game, you can split it up. There's a lot of fortified positions you can take as a Terran player, but I don't know. I feel like I'm way too used to NA. Every time I see Stargazers, I'm seeing, like, I don't know, battle cruisers making their way across the map from the Terran player. Yeah. Zerg players taking the gold first.
I mean, I don't blame you. I mean, I think it was last night I was casting with Asher and we saw Special on Stargazers, and he whipped out a really weird, really strange variant of 2-1-1. It wasn't even a proper 2-1-1, but mixed in with Hellions and mixed in with like just heavy harassment, heavy aggression, completely picking apart his opponent. He played against Demi last night. So yeah, there's definitely a lot you can do here, and for the time being, Time, it just looks like he wants to Test the waters. I say test the waters. He just wants to test maybe Rex's skill here. Hey, I'm going to do the same thing again. Let's see if you can survive.
Yeah. Let's see if you keep the queen alive. As Rex goes for something a little bit different here, a bit of an earlier lair coming out. And what? Keeping my eyes on these geysers, Light.
I am as well. We have a second gas geyser being taken, so only 2 gases for the time being, but we could see a fast muta coming out from him. It is oh my god! He's going for it!
He's doing it! Ah, you love to see it, or at least I do. It's a great map for air in general, a great map for mutas, but because it's so good for air, it's also good for overlords to just sort of sneak around a little bit. And find a couple of these blind spots.
Definitely. So we do have time taking control of the center of the map. Once again, opening up with 8 of these Hellions. It's going to be hyper aggressive. Lings are flooding across the map. The wall is not a wall right now. We don't even need the Nidus to deal damage.
And the Hellions are all the way across the map. I bet this isn't what Rex was expecting, but he's got to be feeling pretty good about this. SCVs slowly making their way to the Hellions to try to protect them. A couple of them already go down, and here comes the Nidus just to bring it on home here for Rex.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like time. He notices a little bit too late here. The Nidus is just about to finish up. We do have enough Energy 4 transfuse to keep it alive. The Queens are now on the front line. At the same time, Lings come in, but the wall this time is a wall.
You got a couple of Hellions here trying to deal with those Lings at the wall, but what about the Queens at the Nidus? And what about the Lings that are in the back line?
Yeah, that is the big question here. Ooh, some of the production is a little bit idle. Stim is not quite done. A lot of Lings are trickling on in without the support of the Queens, so Rex has to be a little bit careful here not to lose too many Lings too needlessly as the Queens are leapfrogging forward. They're trying to get on top of the production.
Yeah, as a wise man once said, Queens can act as the siege tanks of Zerg.
They definitely can. They definitely can. We do have a couple more Niduses being thrown down as well. One tank comes out, and Rex, he's trying to dive on it.
But he is unable to get it in the end here. Moves a little bit too far off of creep. And this may be the move that keeps Rex alive, but how much damage can... Or rather, the move that keeps time alive, but how much damage can Rex deal before he's forced to retreat?
Mate, the Lings, they get a decent surround on all of those Marines. Stim is done, by the way, but no combat shields. Lings, they just continue to flood on forward. The boys are being pulled. That one tank in the backline dishing out a lot of damage.
Yeah, I don't know how intentional it was here for time to keep these medevacs above the tanks, but if you'll notice, the Queens, they were target firing the exact wrong unit there. Medevac went down, but not that tank, and just like that, time stays alive. He has lost 16 SCVs, so it's decent damage here for X, but he kept his CCs alive. They're all orbital commands at this point as well. There's definitely a path for victory here still available for time.
There really is. I mean, the CC survived. It's on fire, but it survived nonetheless. Again, I feel like this tank was really the linchpin for the defense here for time. It's so lucky, not just that, but also that the racks that was researching the tech lab was further back. If it was one of these more exposed racks, I believe the tech lab stim may have been denied. So a lot of things going right there for time, and now it's time to counterattack.
He's got 2 tanks. Again, one of those tanks from earlier on with something like, I don't know, 20 overkills at this point, and we're not even 10 minutes into the game. Not quite a 2-on-1, but it's similar response here coming up from time. A lot of SCV, or Marine, sorry, back at home as well, just in case there's another counterattack. I'm not liking Rex's chances this time.
Yeah, we'll see the Queens. No, they just waddle off of creep. 3 of them, 2 of them go down immediately just like that. They just didn't have enough energy for transfuse. The spawning pool is under threat, and oh my god, it barely survives.
A little bit unfortunate here for Rex that Centrifugal Hook's Baneling speed only finished after he lost all of his Banelings. Rex able to deal with the tanks, but yeah, time's going to continue to be annoying here and just force Rex to build more and more and more Lings, which I'm sure he doesn't want to.
Yeah, I mean, eventually Rex will clean this up. There's not too much longevity with this push. There are only, what, 5 Marines, 6 Marines remaining here, and a single tank, but time, he's moving out with a second force. He wants to try and punish either the 4th or the 3rd base, so Rex has to clean this up ASAP and reposition, otherwise it may be too late.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to. This is, I guess, one of the advantages of getting that many queens early on, and one of the advantages of Stargazer, the linear bases are a bit closer together than on some of the other maps.
They really are, but now 2 tanks have shown up. That's the 1 tank from earlier, by the way. The Baneling's going to try and roll on board here, but the queens are not here to support.
That tank has 26 kills on it right now.
My God. That's a lot of kills, mate, as the 4th hatchery is going to be going down. Rex is trying to muster a couple more Banelings to defend his 3rd base. 30 lings are on the way, but he needs them now.
And the Banelings are just going to be cancelled before they even hatch off. Marines are heading behind the mineral line. Rex doesn't know where to go with his Banelings right now. They're going to die either way.
They really will. The queens even body blocking the Ling Bane of Rex as well, and the Marines still on for it. We have a lot of queens, but even this many queens is not going to be enough.
Yeah, time did oversim a little bit. I will say the medevacs don't have any energy on them, so once again, Rex stays alive. But for how much longer?
Yeah, he did sneak out a Spire. We have a couple of mutas on the way to shut down these drops. Rex needs room to breathe to re-drone because right now time is fully saturated on these 3 bases. We have the 3rd wave moving out across the map. And it's Stargazers. The rush distance is not very long.
This is how you can tell the Terran player has realized that they can just A-move across the map. The Reaper is part of the main army.
Oh my God, the Reaper! What?
Yeah.
Is that the Reaper from the beginning of the game?
That's
I think
a
it
sign.
is.
It is. GG is called, and time takes that series 2-0.
GG, well played. Time does take the series, but especially in game number 2, Rex was so close to tying it up. I love that he did come prepared for Stargazer.
Yeah, he definitely did. He had an idea, and he executed it perfectly. Oh, well, not quite perfectly, He executed it, I think, about as well as he could have. He just didn't really expect that time had the Lionel Messi of tanks on his side.
Yes, the defensive line of Messi was just of Argentina was just a little bit too good. But yeah, it was a great overall plan from Rex. I do think that he was utilizing his queens quite well. I think he was maybe a little bit wasteful with his Ling control when he was in the main base, and he was losing a lot of them. But I also understand kind of the pressure that was on him. I'm pretty sure he was trying to, if you remember, he was focusing down the tech lab on the factory and was trying to focus down the factory itself in that area to make sure that no tanks did come out. Unfortunately, couldn't stop that one Messi tank, mate. And oh boy, it was the MVP there for time.
Exactly. You see that Messi tank rock up into the battlefield, you know you're on a timer. You gotta take him out before, he destroys the team.
Exactly. And just like that, time will time will advance on 2-0 here to the quarterfinals. That is Rex's run. Yeah. This is the round of 16. So my condolences to Rex. But this is to everyone, and also to, I'm sure, to the onside team owner in the chat. There are plenty of other onside players here that are going to be looking to do well. Specifically, my eyes are on Solar, as he's on the other side of the bracket.